Hello, 7th grade again. This is your English teacher Dana from Ru'al Farouk Academy. Today we're going to start with the second unit of our semester. This is City Life. And we are going to start with the first lesson in this unit, The Man at the Fountain. But before we start our explanation, we are going to talk about some important ideas and things about the unit. So let's start. In our lesson today, students should be able to recognize the elements of the story, and students should be able to listen and read the story. Students should be able to recognize the ideas of the first paragraph and the meanings of the new words in this paragraph. Let's start. City life. In the first lesson, we have to know the type of the text. So this is a story that is set in a city. In this story, we have the main character. He is a boy called Philip. In this story also we have a description of the city, and there are lots of adjectives in it. And you have to know that this story is in simple past tense. What are the elements of the story? Listen carefully and recognize the elements of the story.
Let's sing about the parts of a story. Keep them on your mind as you read and write. Beginning, middle, end, characters and setting. And what is the story mostly about? The beginning is when the story starts. The beginning is when the story starts. The middle is what happens next. The middle is what happens next. The end is the finish of the story. The end is the finish of the story. The characters are who is in the story. The characters are who is in the story. The setting is when and where it takes place. The setting is when and where it takes place. The main idea is what the story's mostly about. The main idea is what the story's mostly about. Go, tortoise, go! Never give up! You're a winner!
So, what are the elements of the story? They are: number 1, the beginning, and this is when the story starts. The middle, what happens next. The end, the ending or the finish of the story. Characters, who are in the story. The setting, when and where the story takes place. The main idea, what is the story mostly about. The Man at the Fountain. Open your student's book, page 18, and look at the picture. What can you see in the picture? Yes, there are lots of people in the picture. This city is crowded. There are horses, trees, benches, and there is a fountain. What do we mean about fountain? This is a stream of water in a lake or pool from which this flows. Now we're going to start with the first paragraph in your student book, page 18. So please open your book and listen carefully to the text. Philip was standing by his cousin's newspaper stall when he noticed the thief. Philip knew he was a thief because his picture was in the newspapers. In fact, his picture was in every one of the newspapers that his cousin was selling at this very moment. The sequoia was bustling on this hot afternoon. Several stalls were selling cold drinks and snacks. People were sitting in the shade of the trees around the edge. Cooing pigeons strutted hopefully around the benches. So here we have the main character, called Philip. Where was he standing? Yes, he was standing by his cousin's newspaper stall. What did he notice? What did he see? Yes, he saw the thief. But how did Philip know that he was a thief? Yes, because his picture was in the newspapers. So he knew that this person was a thief. In the second paragraph, we have a description of the sequoia. The sequoia was crowded. There are lots of people. And we have lots of stalls. These stalls were selling cold drinks and snacks. People were sitting in the shade of the trees around the edge, and there were cooing pigeons that walked hopefully around the benches. So, what did Philip notice? Yes, he noticed the thief. Philip knew he was a thief. Explain. Because his picture was in the newspaper, yes. Number 3, what are the things that the stalls were selling? Excellent. Cold drinks and snacks. And the last thing, what does the word bustling mean? Crowded, or a place which is full of activity. Okay, that's it. Write the questions on your copy notes box and be ready for the next class.